just gonna quit YouTube. Like, I get a limited. I'm just gonna quit going live because I get a limited every time, bro. And then I submit. There hasn't even, was it the word hell? Literally the word hell out of Betty's mouth will get me limited, huh? Really? You've got to be kidding me, YouTube. You've got to be kidding me. How does anybody exist on this platform? How does anybody exist on this platform? Hey, y'all. Sorry I'm late. Of course, if you were in the chat, you know why I was late. Kind of funny, actually, when you think about it. Kind of funny. You know, the fantasies that some of the tragedy pimps live in. If they only knew the truth, if they only knew reality. And oh, look, we've got all the peeps there. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to leave this up. I'm going to embarrass them a little bit. I'm going to leave it on here. The pimpage of tragedy extends beyond YouTube, well into the other avenues of the internet. And if you've been following the years-long saga that I've covered called the FRAUDRAISER saga, you know that FRAUDRAISERs is the meme, it's the word I use to describe a fundraiser or a GoFundMe that has, I'm gonna sneeze. I'm live and I'm gonna sneeze. I can't edit a sneeze out. Ugh. A FRAUDRAISER is a meme I use to describe somebody stealing money and doing it fraudulently through lying about what they're going to do with that money on the internet. Now, we've had a lot of people try to make arguments that certain things that we've covered weren't FRAUDRAISERs. And what we're going to do is look at a case today. Once I show you a few little things, we're going to look at a case about a woman named MADDIE Russо. She's a TikTok star that has been arrested. And guess how much money she raised? Just over $30,000. And what did she do? Lied to raise that money. Completely just lied. Did not do anything she said she was going to do with that money. She lied. She fabricated what was there in order to collect the money. And what we're going to do is watch and follow what happens to MADDIE Russo, so that you guys and some of the other trash pimps out there I'm trying to disguise my use of that word. I'm so afraid of the YouTube yellow sign. We're going to follow that story, and we're going to kind of, why did I not turn my hat around? Oh, much better. Yeah, there you go. There we go. And we're going to actually see what punishment she's given, but she's been arrested. And I want to know what she's been charged with, so we're going to find out. Now, what I want you to do is think about, you know, why Letitia and Molly aren't, or is my audio on? Yeah. Think about why Letitia and Molly aren't arrested for their FRAUDRAISER. When I guarantee you it made as much, if not more, than MADDIE Russo. Why do I want to say La Russo? La Russo. Where is La Russo from? La Russo. Is that like some sitcom thing? Is that a sitcom thing? Kids will always drive you crazy, and the grandkids. I have hope for my great-grandson, but he's only 2, and we shall see. You know, the thing is, the parents, you know, your parents always tell you, oh, just wait till you have kids. And I think that that is a successful curse. I think that our parents, when they say that to us, they just know what they're talking about. Because, oh my heavens, is it true? So I want to just go through a tiny update for you and show you a video from Menace to Sobriety, like a little bit of it, so that you'll go watch the whole thing, because Menace is a creator you should not be missing out on. But my mind was blown. And this is a very short clip. My mind was blown after Betty flipped out because of a man named DUTYRON. Now, we've got DUTYRON's video, if I can just find it here. Here we go. So a man named DUTYRON made a statement, and I don't think I could play you everything he said, and I do want to show you his Betty's reaction, just one part of the reaction. This will just take a couple minutes. Then we're going to update you on something new that happened with Betty and move into the Maddie Russo story. And what else do we got today? For hell yeah, we've got a few things to update you on. So real quick, let's just get this moving. Here is what he actually said. DUTYRON. Now, first things first. I agree with DUTYRON. I'm glad that he said this. As you know, let me just play it for you.
DUTYRON and Ed Wallace, when we go live or upload another video. Hey.
By the way, this is Jelly Belly. This is our new friend Jelly Belly.
Today, I'm coming live to you about a topic that, you know, I don't enjoy speaking about this stuff. You know, transmitting and rebroadcasting intentionally live court audio is against the law.
Yes, it is.
And I'm here to tell you today, as a public service announcement to my friends and to the community, it's not something that you should be doing intentionally. It's not something that you should be doing to benefit yourself.
Benefit yourself, to profit. That's the backbone.
This is a disgraceful act by anybody who is claiming to seek justice for our boys.
And of course, my side of things, my point was that the people we've been covering, they don't want justice. They're LARPing to make money. That's using them, not getting justice for them. It's the opposite. It's making them a victim of them.
Very, very complex case that involves the murders of 2 small children, Oren and Orson West, Sincere and Classic.
I don't know how DUTYRON or anyone talks about what we talk about without being instantly yellow signed, but I'll leave that out. I stopped complaining. I'll stop complaining. It was played on Lawyer Mystery Maven too. Yeah, did Lawyer Mystery Maven actually... that makes me really want to go there.
4 years old at the time they were reported missing. This is now a murder investigation. Who in their right mind, in their right frame of mind, would intentionally rebroadcast audio? And I'm going to show you.
You can't be in your right frame of mind to tragedy pimp it all. If you think, now listen to what he's saying in response. I want to make a point, of course, that I haven't made yet. I was a little off point last time. His response is to them rebroadcasting audio. Let it sink in what this man would think if he knew some of the other things that we've seen them do. If he would have weighed in on some of their fraud raisers, if he would have weighed in on some of their raffles, if he would have weighed in on how they treat people, how they've assaulted people at protests, the things that we've seen them do. And imagine how he would think about that if he holds this opinion over them profiting, because they do all those things to profit, just like they did this to profit.
The actual disclaimer, the law that was put on the district court's website. So when you go and you play the audio from this.
Jelly Belly is looking really spiffy today. Really spiffy.
Court's website.
I kind of dressed Jelly Belly up a little bit, if you can't tell.
There's a statement that is in clear English, in very layman's term. Do not rebroadcast this audio.
And I just really like that DUTYRON was willing to stand up to a tragedy pimp. And that's why in the beginning of this video, I want to call attention to that one more time. And I want you to try to just soak in what she accidentally said here when she meant to say, what the hell? I should say H. Are we getting to the point where I have to say H on YouTube to not be demonetized when I start a video? Instead of hell, we have to say H. We are, aren't we? What the H?
Go make their life hell!
And of course, if you saw me, you can go look at my video from yesterday. I'm not going to break this down again. I'll give you the super short version. She was so upset and she is so mad that she wanted to say, she had an outburst. She didn't realize that she was going to tell her audience to go target the people she brought up in this video, which was Queen Bee and DUTYRON. She told her audience, after riling them up, after lying, to go make DUTYRON's life hell, to go make Queen Bee's life hell.
What the hell?
And instantly tried to change it to what the hell, realizing, oh God, I could get in trouble for that.
They make mine. Go out and do unto others as they do unto us.
So she gives us her true opinion, something I missed out on that I had to think about after my last stream, which is that she's admitted that DUTYRON, myself, Queen Bee, the other criticizers, the clip channels, we're making her life hell. We are making her life hell through truthful commentary and opinion and fair reporting. It makes her life hell. And if you realize that, you must realize that what you're doing to the families that you target, what you're doing in the towns you visit, what you're doing on YouTube is making people's lives hell. Because it's an order of magnitude greater than someone reporting. And a video that I think brilliantly breaks down the situation and gives us even more, a complete breakdown, is Menace's video. I can't even believe it was just 20 hours ago that he uploaded this video. 20 hours ago. It's graphically beautiful and brilliant. The script is timed and executed perfectly, and the message is just too good. Mods, do me a solid, please. Share Menace's link. I want to show everybody a little bit of a preview. So he makes it look like a video game is loading up. Lolcow Kong. Choose your character for Lolcow Kong. Look at this. Battery Betty, the cereal strangler, or Veda Tata, the French fried failure, or EKC People Suck, the projectionist. And of course, he picks Battery Betty. I love that it was Shrek. Now, when I was watching this with Rachel, I didn't know if Rachel got this joke. This is a blue screen. This is what happens when my computer crashes. It gives me a blue screen of death. That's what we call this. So he picked Betty and his game crashed. I love that song. I think that's Street Fighter. I think that's a Street Fighter song. It's such a good song. Oh, I better do a community post and let everybody know we're live, shouldn't I? And a tweet. Isn't it just so good, y'all? Menace did such a good job.
I'm sure many of you are aware that a couple of gearboxes, JLR and Doug Live from Northport, went knocking on the door of the family of
Doug Live from Northport. I don't know who this is. So I think what we need to do is add another tragedy pimp on our on our little oh look, there it is, Doug Live from Northport. We need to add another tragedy pimp into our little purview.
38-year-old missing Sarah Dreyer. They were desperate for content and figured that was the best way to get some. Well, someone from the family politely asked YouTubers to give the family privacy and reminded people to only give information to the authorities and not to YouTubers. I personally think they were extremely reasonable with their requests.
Hey, Wonder Twin. Hello. Good to see you. Thank you.
Nothing wrong with anything they said, in my opinion. However, old Betty had to defend her friend's honor the only way she knows how, by attacking the family member making the extremely reasonable requests. The way she first makes an implication that the haters must have contacted the family and lied on JLR or something. Couldn't it just been that their family member's missing and they don't want some freak show banging on their door shoving a camera in JLR?
Oh, Violet. She got so upset. She was so mad. I mean, it really was. You could tell that it really cut her deep and hurt her feelings, right? You could just tell.
We call these people trolls and cockroaches. Could you imagine seeing that as a response to your request for privacy?
I know. And this is why I wanted to play Menace's video again, because this is so packed full of insanity that it's almost as if you need to react to it a second time or just kind of process it a second time to really get it. And I think it goes to show how far gone Betty is and how dangerous her, JLR, and the tragedy pimps that are left are the most dangerous ones. There's a reason they weren't the Molly, right? Molly was the most insanely, prolifically go out and grab YouTube at any cost. And she was willing to just hurt anyone along the way. These guys are malicious, vindictive. They have a jealousy, and it drives a vengeance when they get upset. They are motivated by vengeance.
Jesus, Betty, you're such a lolcow.
Okay, so I'm experiencing one of the worst situations of my entire life, and I post to the internet, and I say, please, please give us privacy. And it pisses Betty off. Now, of course, I'm leading to something here. I've got new stuff for you here that happened today. That's why we're leading in on this. Though I have to give another glance at what she said in response to this family. There's no professionality. There's no respect. There's no respect to them as just people, let alone to them as people going through a severe tragedy. It's narcissistic. I want you to focus on the selfishness of it. She talks about herself. She is saying all of this in the terms of herself. Cockroaches and trolls. That's you and JLR and Doug from Northport being so desperate that you don't have a respect to let the people interact with the victim's family that are actually trained and know what they're doing. You instead go in with that personal narcissistic motivation and that money motivation.
Then she went as far as to threaten to shut down the sharing of information on social media. Yeah, she actually believes she has that level of influence on the...
Oh my God, I know. Talk about delusions of grandeur. But get ready for the next one. I'm a world famous YouTuber like the one helping search for your family. Now, to say that JLR is a world famous YouTuber is such a lie. It is such an insanely, incredibly big lie. But think about going a step further than that. He is actually known for the frivolous lawsuits. He's known for the identity theft. He's known for ruining people's lives by stealing massive amounts of money in their name. That's what he's known for. That is. And it seems like the smallest lie. Let's turn this vicious, criminal, insane man who's being accused right now of stalking several people involved in a case that he reported on because he does not know how to be a reporter or the media. And let's turn him into world famous YouTuber. You could only say that he's infamous, but he's not even infamous to the world. The reason why he can even have subscribers on the internet is because he's not famous. Because he's not known. Because if he was known, they would know about his past. They would know what he did, and they wouldn't support him.
Interwebs.
I can't even call him infamous.
We'll make sure your case isn't covered on social media. And
you need to worry about yourself, Betty. You aren't good enough, smart enough, or capable enough to worry about anyone else. I don't want to play all this for you, but he has some extra clips in here. He has some stuff you probably should see. He's got a lot of funny jokes. I think you need to go watch Bullhorn Betty Full Lolcow. It's almost got 2,000 views, and it hasn't even hit the 24-hour mark. I hope you guys decide to go hit it up. Though, today, we've got... And before we move on to another topic, we've got Betty live today, and she's decided that she's going to talk about several cases that have come up, okay? So, and I'm going to check and see if our yellow sign goes away, and we're going to restart this damn stream if I can't get out of this yellow sign here soon while we listen. But I think she's still live. So her response... I want you to understand, she's done a 12-hour live stream. She's done an 8-hour live stream. She's done like a 7-hour live stream. When I'm fine with you doing long live streams, I just want to build up to what's going on with her after what happened with DUTYRON and what happened with her streaming this case. But if you notice, she streams these cases. Now, when I've seen people stream cases, you know what I see? I see a YouTuber and a panel. Imagine the Johnny Depp case. Most of you guys in here, because we covered a little bit of the Johnny Depp case, most of y'all in here followed the Johnny Depp case. And if you didn't follow it on other lawyers' channels, even if you did, you probably saw what I'm about to describe. But if most of you saw it on Rakita Law, at least to some, there were some parts of it, because we actually watched Rakita. Nate, one of our friends, Nate the lawyer, a person in our community that hangs out with us that we've known for years, was on with Rakita. And they sit on panel and react. But when Nick, Rakita, or Nate, or the other lawyers weren't on panel with each other reacting to the lawsuit, they were at least reacting to the lawsuit themselves. She just plays it. She just plays it. I checked earlier. I checked in her previous video. Now, of course, this is her current live. But in her previous live, she would play extremely large portions of the broadcast of the trial. She's like just broadcasting. She's like, screw it. I'm just going to go live. I'm just going to broadcast it. I'm just not going to say anything. I'm not going to add any commentary. Someone that's filed copy strikes in the past against people for clipping and commentating, and someone that's tried to copy strike Burnt Toast to the ground, if you recall that whole saga of Burnt Toast versus Betty. When Betty was filing the copy strikes, YouTube stepped in. YouTube told Betty, you're going to get banned if you don't stop filing strikes against her. And she stopped. And now she's got the nerve just to take hours-long swaths of court recording and just play it. It's so hypocritical. Not that she can't do it. It's just it goes against all of her opinions on other people. You feel me?
The story is basically a very sad one. I don't know.
Wow, genius commentary.
If he's going to make it or not. I don't know if he has
Well, he was released home, from what I heard.
Expired or not, but it was
Expired. I don't know if I want to hear her talk about this because she's a very racist person. But I do want to hear her talk about a different case.
These medical decisions for your child. Now they're sending
her audio is so bad.
Children into classes with people that are doing S with them inside and outside of the school.
What I want to show you is just her yelling and screaming. So here's what I'm going to do. We're going to do this live stream, and if that yellow sign turns to a green sign sometime before we're done reacting to Betty, we won't restart the stream. But if that yellow sign does not turn green soon, by the time we're done here, I'm going to refresh and see if it turns green. And if it does not, I'm going to restart this stream because I am sick and tired of YouTube capping me. I'm tired of them, you know, putting that, because again, you get like, instead of getting the amount of notifications that would normally go out, you get like 1/10 of them that go out. And I got to go to Twitter. I got to go to community post. I got to go to Discord in order to let the peeps know that we're live. And I'm just sick and tired of YouTube doing this. I'm sick and tired of it. You know, if we sit here long enough, it'll be fine. It'll be just as if we weren't demonetized. I'm tired of it though. I don't know why YouTube does this to us. I know I'm complaining. Also, I know I didn't even come in. I didn't come in right because I'm disconnected from like running around before the stream. I didn't know I had to do that. 4/19 of 2023. It is now 4:30 or 16:30. It's in the afternoon, 4:30 p.m. or 16:30. And we are going to cover Betty and some fraud raisers. And we're going to catch up on something going on with Molly and another YouTuber. And we're going to check on this new guy. What is it? Doug from Northport, Florida, I believe, right? Doug from, oh, it's just Doug from Northport. Okay. We're going to check on him too before we get done. And oh, I will vent. I will let it unleash. Best version of me. I'm going to call you Bestie. Can I call you Bestie? Can that be your nickname? Best version of me? Can I call you my bestie? I'm going to call you Bestie, okay? You my bestie. Oh, I'm not even in. See, look at this. I'm not even in the stream room. So the Navy could jump in if he wanted to. I have one more thing I have to say. Oh, Oh, oh my gosh. It's like one of the most important things. Hey, y'all. It is the 19th. YouTube pays us on the 21st, which means we've got one more day to go through tomorrow before payday. So if you want to support us, I'll put the links in the chat. It is paypal.me/UNIROCK, _UNIROCK, or _UNIRACHEL. The money signs are for Cash App. Just letting you know, because right before YouTube pays us, of course, is the most, I'd say, beneficial or broke time of the month for us. So anyone that does, somebody did earlier, and someone sent like 10 bucks earlier. Whoever you are, thank you so much, because it helped immensely. But anyone that wants to dono, there's how you do it. And make sure you check the description for other ways to support the show other than liking and subscribing. I said it now. We can get back to this because I completely forgot. All right, let's go.
She has since been fired, and the school...
oh, is she still talking about this? I don't want to hear about this whole student misconduct bullcrap.
To hear these female teachers, what she does.
Let's find the missing girl. We want to find her talking about the missing girl. And you're going to say, why didn't you get it ready for us, Uni? This is live right now. Like, that's how new this is. But you have to see what I saw.
What's going on here?
I was in no notification. Yeah, there's not going to be any notification for a lot of people just because of the yellow sign. Usually if after about half an hour or an hour, it'll turn green. It just really upsets me that YouTube is having this problem still. I'm gonna yell at YouTube if I don't stop. I'm gonna Betty on YouTube. And that's where I have a neck-choking explosion of anger, so I need to calm down here. Oh my God, wicked. Wicked. My bestie, my Libra, Marcy, Rebel, and Tiffany. Hey. Oh, Tiffany got the noti. Good. You were in the club. And Villanova. Villa. And there's Poisoned Harley. Hey, I see that green sign next to your name, Harley. Thank you.
Here, hold on, lady. I got your pizza. Hold on. Let me bring it over here. And he's holding it out. He's making...
Oh, and that reminds me, a few months ago, Poisoned Harley got accidentally banned from the channel. And I don't know what happened. It's possible somebody accidentally hit the button with their thumb or something. It's that easy to do it. So if you ever get banned, I don't even care if you got banned for the right reason. I don't permaban. If you want to ask me to unban you, I will. Just let the mods know. They'll throw your YouTube handle in one of the Discord rooms and I'll unban you. Just make sure you know that. There should be a post from Streamlabs that tells you that every once in a while.
Making sure that he's making sure that no damage happens to that pizza. He didn't want to have to replace that pizza, right?
Oh my God, I'm scared.
So he just hold it.
Hey, how you been holding up, Jelly? You seem to be very brightly collared today. Yes, I'm doing great. Good.
There. After this all happened, he probably walked up and said, "Here you go, ma'am. Hope it's not cold."
I have no clue how this is funny.
Maybe he was questioned by the police, and he's like,
the pizza police.
No, I really need to deliver this pizza. So this is coming to a case that I said I wasn't going to cover because...
Yes, you did. It's Navy's fault.
Because of the family and how rude the family...
You guys are so mean to that guy. He's my co-host. I have to defend him. Somebody ban UNIRACHEL. Oh, you can't. She's a owner of a channel. Damn it.
Been. So we're going to cover a little bit of it. It's not going to be the kind of coverage that the family really wants us to cover.
Say that again, please.
Cover a little bit of it. It's not going to be the kind of coverage that the family really wants us to cover.
It's not going to be the kind of coverage the family wants you to cover. Yeah. See, because every family out there, Betty, I'm going to help you real quick. I'm going to help you. I'm going to help the other tragedy pimps. People know what and who you guys are. They may not know that you're Bullhorn Betty, but they can tell the minute they hear you talk, the minute they see one of your posts, that you're a bad person. You have been a bad person for so long that you can't hide it. You wear it on your sleeve. You are disrespectful. You're nasty. You're mean. You're all these things because you've been controlled by anger forever, for your whole life, all the way up to now. So Don't think that you could cover any case. Because if you ask anybody who's in a tragedy, hey, would you be okay with someone trying to exploit the death of your loved one so that they can make some money on social media? They're going to say no. That is every normal family in the entire world. So until you change, every story you cover, the family is not going to be okay. Everything you touch on, everything you hit, you act like there is a story you can cover and it would be okay. Now, it doesn't mean she's such an advocate. I know, Wicked, I know. It doesn't mean you can't have a voice, and it doesn't mean you can't talk. You can. And you should be criticized. You should have people discuss it and talk about it until you stop exploiting these families for your gain. And I know there are a lot of unintelligent people out there who think that just reporting on a story somehow makes that exploitation for gain. And you can't change dumb people's minds. They need to change their mind by educating themselves. You shouldn't waste time trying to argue with people like that when you've got a very, very small group of people that hold an extremist thought in a subject. Because the normal amount of people out there, the logic behind the situation is if you're going to respect the topic and respect what's going on, it doesn't matter if you got 5 subs, doesn't matter if you got 5 million, you can cover a story. It's when you exploit the story, clickbait, lie, or whatever, that it becomes the issue. And these people go well beyond any of that, and I'm not going to ramble on it because I could.
But this is Sarah Dreyer, which is...
Isn't this the lady? Isn't this the case that the family told her not to cover? And I'm going to need my live chat here on this one because I flipped out and I said, wait, she's not supposed to be covering this. She responded to is this the post, guys? Somebody in the chat, Barbie says yes. I thought it was too. I'm just making sure. I'm trying to double check because this is new. Give me jelly so I can put a BHP face on it. Oh my God, that would be hilarious. Okay. I don't even know where I put it though. It took me forever to find it too. Here, it's in general. Somebody better donate 20 bucks to me for giving that to you, Frog. Or I'm ending my stream. Oh, I'm sorry. I had a little Molly inspiration there. I had a little inspiration from Molly there. This is it. This is her doing what she does. Now you understand why I roll in like I do here. This is Betty responding to that situation from what I recall. Now, hold on a minute. Hold up. Wait a minute. I'm going to just check really quick. I want to make sure because I don't want to go off on a rant and end up being wrong. I've had that happen a couple times in my life here. But I know that Menace, yes. Okay. Please share. Don't be like JLR and Doug from Northport. They tried bothering the family. Please respect the family's privacy. A simple share is a great help. There you go. See? Go ahead and do that too. And this is, oh, what's this? PSA, Molly and crew are claiming she was taken down. Oh, this is 13 days ago. Oh, okay. Oh, I thought Menace had it on his community tab. I don't understand where it would have went. Maybe it wasn't Menace. Either way, you guys tell me. Didn't I put it on my community tab? I have it here. Hold on. I got it in my room. I just didn't want to pull it up. I just want to be absolutely safe, y'all. Tell me, isn't Dreyer the case where they asked Betty and JLR and them not to bother them, not to talk about it, nothing? And then, yes, right there, I wanted to grab the originator so that you know I'm not lying or anything like that. Statement from the family of the missing woman, Sarah Dreyer. Bullhorn Betty, this is a screenshot of her responding to the family of Sarah Dreyer. I have it on my screen. This is what is in Menace's video right here. So now we can go back to Betty, and let me pull this over here so we don't, this will just go right here. Let's go back to Betty, who is going to say and admit I told the family, okay, I'm not going to talk about her. Okay, I'm not going to get involved. She lied to the family. She lied and said JLR, instead of telling the truth, that he's not even a world infamous. He's a barely infamous criminal and idiot because he's filed so many frivolous lawsuits, making a complete fool of his entire legacy and life. And instead of telling the truth, she tried to frame JLR as a world famous YouTuber and tried to claim that she was, and lied and lied and lied. And now listen to what she says. Now that we've done our fact checking, listen.
Ben, so we're going to cover a little bit of it. It's not going
Cheesy says they can cover it, but they don't want them at their house or bugging people. Well, that's the thing. She said she wouldn't cover it. And she said, we will make sure that your case won't be covered on YouTube or other social media. So my point here is that I'm trying to show that Betty lied to the family. Not just in a few places. She lied knowing that she was going to do this.
to be the kind of coverage that the family really wants us to cover.
You told them you wouldn't cover it. Do you realize how many times Betty or Molly or their supporters, the liars that go around claiming Molly got falsely reported off of, or mass reported off of YouTube, right? Those liars and manipulators that are out there just screaming for clout any way they can. They'll claim everyone else in the world is a liar. They don't care to call these people out for lying. They don't care to call themselves out for lying.
But this is Sarah Dreyer, which has been missing. And
This is Sarah Driver, which has been, I don't know if you would say which she has been missing, but
I've been working in the back, her family, basically.
I do too, Mighty Marcia. I do too. Deet's video on JLR would be an excellent video to send someone who actually is a family friend, not a random person, but a family friend. If they gave the family that video and said, you have to watch this. This is the man that came to your door. These are the people that stalked you to your door to try to get extra money off of social media and exploit your missing family member, your tragedy for their gain. And if they just see the first few minutes of that video, they're going to file a restraining order immediately on JLR. I can't believe JLR's PO hasn't yanked him back down to Florida and told him, you will not leave this state and you will not harass any more families. I just can't believe any of this thing happens now. You're going to understand why I'm saying these things in just a moment. You know what? We'll just jump around. I typically don't, but the case of MADDIE Russo. Guess what she did? $37,000 GoFraud.me. She ran a GoFundMe, said that she had all this cancer, and I want to play a news broadcast for you, and we'll go right back to Betty because you have to see this. Let me find a news broadcast here. Whoa. I don't know if I want to play Good Morning America, actually. Here we go.
We have continuing coverage tonight as the Bettendorf woman accused of scamming hundreds of donors pleads not guilty. Police allege 19-year-old...
This 19-year-old woman faked cancer and ran a $38,000 GoFundMe and collected the money, right? And she's going to go to jail. Well, at least she's being charged and she's pled not guilty, as you heard here. And can you imagine $37,000? $37,000. Now you probably know why Molly and Letitia and her friends and defenders, those liars, those scammers that help her out and lie for her, you probably understand why they don't want you to know the exact amount of money that Letitia raised and ran off with. Now, I want you to listen to the words they use to describe what this woman did. I want you to listen to what they say this woman is because of what she did, lying to get that money and then taking it and keeping it. Infamous truth teller, how are you, my friend? Hello, she's absolutely pathetic and a hypocrite. And for her to even say that, send that post and have the audacity then to cover the case is some freaking views, and it makes me sick. Well, see, this is why I picked up on it today. And as soon as I saw that, I already had some things to cover. But as soon as I saw that Betty was live, and I don't know how, but I clicked through that. I clicked through it after Wicked told me about it. I clicked through it. Wicked kind of got me on the case. All right. She gave me the tip and I clicked through it and I say, we got to show everybody. We got to show everybody because we just covered the fact that she promised the family she wouldn't do this. We just covered the fact that JLR has been accused of stalking a woman, the Murdaugh wife, the wife, okay, which she is beautiful and young and a lawyer and successful. Some would say being married to a Murdaugh family member might make her shady. That's, you know, depends on what she's done. It depends on what happens there, right? Let me give you another couple seconds of this while I change my hat.
Madison Russo faked having cancer and stole $37,000 in donations. She was arrested last month before posting bond. Since the discovery, officers have seized money in Russo's bank account and recovered several items. She has...
Okay, you got to listen to this, man. This is I believe that Letitia made more than this. Now, how did I come to that conclusion? Did I just guess it? Did I just throw it out there or something? No. I went back and looked at the amount of people that were in the live streams. I looked at the amount of people that said they gave money every time Molly was live. I looked at the amount of people that, the amount of times and the amount of money that Letitia and Molly had admitted to bringing in on certain days. I took the lowest average that I could and I came to 40 to 80,000. The lowest average. 40 to 80,000. Now, in the very beginning of the story, it might have been, what, 3 to 4 weeks in, we had Goose admit that they'd raised 20,000 at that point. But they kept e-begging for at least another 2.5 months. I'm sorry, at least 2.5 months to 3 months total. The hardcore e-begging around Marvon. Now, I could call back to previous fraud raisers that I've busted. We had a fraud raiser ring where these people had asked for hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars in all of the fraud raisers they'd ran, and where they had taken in 140, 180, 210 at the bare minimum. We had a single fraud raiser out of 6 done in a period of a couple weeks that had $10,000 brought in. And we've had to cover these stories for years. I've been covering fraud raisers for years. I've been busting fraud raisers for years. I've been reporting on them for years. In order to get to a point now where people are being held accountable. To some extent, it is a business out there for people to pretend they're sick, to pretend that they have some right to collect money, to tell you they're going to spend that money on a certain thing. You got to remember, it's a fraud because they don't spend the money where exactly where they tell you they're going to spend it. It's a fraud because it's a charity situation. They're telling you, I need the money to save him. I need the money to do this. I'm in a horrible, you're going to save me with the money, because I'm going to use it to do this thing. And people, when they lie and do a fraud raiser, they say that because that's what instigates people to give. You wouldn't make $38,000 if you didn't tell them that you're dying of cancer and you need money to pay for everything happening. You wouldn't have made the amount of money you made if you wouldn't have lied and said that you were going to save Marvon, or you were going to save Marvon's kid while he's in a coma. How about going back to the fraud raiser that we busted where the woman was faking cancer? We've busted a fraud raiser where a YouTuber faked cancer. We've busted fake funeral fraud raisers. I could just go on and on and on. We've had a house fire, right, where this woman needed money and she ended up raising what we've been reported $70,000 or $80,000, and we found out that she had lied. She had taken the fact that there was a small fire that destroyed a room of her home and blown it up into an explosion that knocked her into the intensive care unit and all this stuff. Turned out she was renting. She had insurance, right? I could go on for hours and break down the fraud raisers. One more. Do you remember the poo-poo dog? Do you remember the man who did the fraud raisers, and he took that large amount of money and he told everybody it was because he needed to go move in with a friend because he's homeless and his friend is going to get him a job and all this stuff, and he ran down. Instead of going to Florida, he went to New Jersey. He had a woman on the internet who was his FinDom, a financial dominatrix. And with a FinDom, these men try and give every dime of their money to a woman that will dominate them sexually in very extreme kink ways. No kink shaming, but there you go. And they had locked themselves in a room doing drugs and ordering DoorDash, and had a dog who had poo-pooed all over that room, the other room of the house next to where they were laying and boning. And it was the walls, the dog, everything was covered in the doo-doo. And that was part of a fraud raiser that we busted. Letitia is only, let's say Letitia isn't getting picked up anytime, isn't going to ever be fully investigated for this. Let's say the police dropped the ball. Why? Why is that? The only thing that made this woman actually get picked up for doing the fraud raiser is the fact that so many people called to the local precinct and told them what happened. So many people kept checking in at the local precinct. So many people kept demanding they do something about this, and they did. And I don't think people like Molly and people like Letitia realize that it is their criticizers and the fans of their criticizers that are not pressing the issue of them going to jail. Because we could. Right? Very easily we could. Hell, it would only take one person to call the precinct twice a day and make sure they do something. And it hasn't happened to what we know. All we know is Letitia was supposed to show up in court, and we have no clue what happened. We lost all information from there. Remember? Anyway.
Police allege 19-year-old Madison.
Is that Navy? What's up, bro?
Russo faked having cancer and stole
I'm in the stream room.
$37,000 in donations.
She didn't have cancer. She took the money in, telling them that she was going to give the money to doctors for cancer treatment. She didn't give the money to the doctors for cancer treatment. Okay? And so she got arrested, and the news is saying she stole the money.
She was arrested last month before posting bond. Since the discovery, officers have seized money in Russo's bank account and recovered several items. She has since pled not guilty and waived her right to a speedy trial. We have continuing coverage.
So, I want you to ask yourself a simple question here now. I want you to ask yourself a simple question. Did she steal the money? Unless it turns out she did have cancer and she didn't lie. Let's take what the news said and assume it to be true. Let's take the evidence that we have and assume it true. She stole money. Did Letitia steal money? Yes, she did. Because she didn't do what she said she was going to do with the money. She used it for her own personal stuff, her own selfish reasons. Okay? She doesn't want you to know how much she took in, because if you did, a lot of you would probably be calling the local precinct a lot, because that was a motivation in Maddie Russo's case. If people would have heard Maddie only made $4,000 or $8,000 on GoFundMe, do you really think that they would have flipped out and they would have had so many people calling the local precinct? No. All I know is when I look at a case, when I look at a situation, I've already told you how I handle it. If I donated, I would have called and filed. Right? And the people that did donate, I feel, should be the ones to call and file. Or people that are very much motivated because they've been ripped off in a previous fundraiser could call and file. My point, though, is, have you heard this thing that Molly and Betty have been doing? Where they'll say that because they didn't get in trouble, they did nothing wrong. And that thought process, because I heard Betty bring this up again 3 days ago, that thought process has kind of caused me to think about it a little bit, right? I decided to think about it a little bit. Is that true? Right? Is it true that if you steal somebody's rent money, they get evicted because you stole it, their life is ruined? You didn't do anything wrong if you didn't get caught, right? 1 second. Sorry. Had to take it.
Dogged JLR.
I just want you to think about it. Is it really okay, the things that have happened? Just because they have, I don't know, five people out there that just can't research and think and actually look at the evidence. You got 5 people out there, 10 people. Let's be nice. Let's say that they have 10 people when they don't have 10 people, right?
And if anybody knows, JLR is like a brother to me. And so, you know, I have a little, you know, it's no different. I mean, even Dolly knows. If somebody was talking shit about Dolly, I would probably say something about it as well, right? So this family, you know, I don't think they understood exactly what they were doing. But this girl here, you know,
What did you just say? What did you just say?
So this family, you know, I don't think they understood exactly what they were doing. But this girl here, you know,
The family didn't understand what they were doing. Notice that it's almost like she's using her platform to take shots at the family. This is not what the news does. This isn't what the media does. This isn't what a reporter does. Hell, even drama creators don't do this to someone that's lost a family member.
I mean, even Dolly knows. If somebody was talking shit about Dolly, I would probably say something.
Oh, I talk shit about Dolly all the time. It's a bad lane to be in. I'm yelling in my mic.
About it as well.
You don't ever defend Dolly from me.
Well, right? So this family...
Poisoned Harley says back in the day before it was fraud YouTube fraud raising, or any of these new words, it was called con artists. Just saying. True. I still call them con artists. I still call them scammers, very much so.
You know, I don't think they understood exactly what they were doing. But this girl here, you know, I'm looking at...
The family didn't understand what they were doing, yeah. The family really gives 2 shits about you, JLR, the internet, all that stuff, you know. They're not going through the worst tragedy of their entire life, losing a family member like this. No. Who cares about the gravity of this situation? Who cares what happened to their family member? You know, things going through the family's minds. When this woman talks, it's hard to even comprehend that an adult human being that would be 20, that would be younger, would even think this way, right? It's hard to comprehend that someone is so pure evil.
And so we're going to cover a little bit of it. It's not...
I got to hear her say it like 3 or 4 times. Those really evil things that she says and does. I got to really let it sink in because it's just so nasty.
Going to be the
I mean, it's pure nasty.
Kind of coverage that the family really wants us to cover.
So first off, first little dig at the families right there. The kind of coverage that the family wants us to cover. The kind of coverage that the family wants us to cover.
But this is Sarah Dreyer, which has been missing. And I've been working in the back, her family, you know,
You've been working in the background. How? How? Do you notice how much you lie? If you just listen to what she actually is saying, she has so much dumb that comes out of her mouth when she talks that sometimes you end up losing the fact that what she's saying is a complete fabrication. of reality.
Basically dogged JLR, and if anybody knows.
Dogged? Did she just say they dogged JLR? Because they didn't dog anyone.
Her family, you know, basically dogged JLR.
I really think she's trying to say dogged, you know, and I'm really glad I brought this up. Dogged JLR. There have been a few YouTubers coming by the house and trying to speak to the family. We appreciate the platform, believe it's being used to spread the word and help bring Sarah home. Please respect the family's privacy. Don't film them. Request to speak to them. The situation is unimaginable. They deserve to feel safe on their property. Additionally, if anyone who is out there and approached by a YouTuber, please remember the information you may have should only be shared with the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Department. Thank you all. Let's work together to bring Sarah home. There's no dogging. There's no attacking. There's no lying. There's no negative context at all. Yes, JLR, you, Doug from Northport, approaching this family is going to make them feel unsafe. You all do not, obviously, look in the mirror. You all, I mean this. You don't look in the mirror. Why should some methed out looking person coming up on someone's property make them not feel safe? Right? Why is JLR looks like a criminal because he is one, for God's sakes. Do you really not see it when you look in the damn mirror? You don't see it when you look at JLR, Betty? So I had to read this to you because I want to prove that she's lying. She's building a narrative for more reasons than you'd think. She's building the narrative because she wants her audience that's watching to be mad at this family. Now, luckily, Molly Golightly isn't there to help her because Molly would be helping her right now. She would have gotten a hold of Molly. She would have gotten a hold of Dolly. She would have gotten a hold of JLR, and she would have gotten a hold of Justin. Hell, if Leslie Bass wasn't bailed because of not, you know, embarrassing herself so often, she'd probably be called too, as we've seen for a long time. And she really doesn't understand how, when she does this, it's motivating people on YouTube, not the creators that cover you. It motivates the viewership out there and motivates the people out there to report you to YouTube when you do these things, or even when you do worse things. And of course, you're going to blame the people that you're jealous of. You're going to blame the people you're angry with. Fine. But the point is, you can't just make up and invent and lie to your audience like this. We're not going to let it happen. So first off, she streams this one trial. DUTYRON, as I showed you in the beginning of this video, comes in, calls her out. And now she threatens DUTYRON. She wants to send DUTYRON a cease and desist. Huh. Isn't that insane? She's going to dox DUTYRON. She's going to find out his full identity and where he lives. She's going to probably leave him messages. DUTYRON, I really would love to know, and I wish he could tell me. I wish I could ask him. I'd love to know if DUTYRON had any sock accounts threatening him, messing with him, or coming at him right at the time when Betty got mad. Because I guarantee it happened. I guarantee it happened. I guarantee she gets mad because I've watched this. Anytime Betty gets mad at somebody, it happens. These sock accounts, it's almost like Betty's angry and she's like not thinking straight for some reason, maybe late at night or early in the morning, who knows, or whatever. And she's bored and she's lonely and she's sad and she's angry and she's sitting there raging out, watching DUTYRON speak over and over and over. And she's just sitting there with her sock accounts, making them on any platform she can. Right? See what I'm saying? Sick.
And if anybody knows, JLR is like a brother to me. And so, you know.
JLR is like a brother to you. We know. We know. You are the only human being on the face of the planet that is disgusting enough, nasty enough, mean enough, gross enough to actually ignore what JLR does and says and how he acts to befriend him. But then, because you are so drastically bad, you decide that he's a brother to you. It's not that you're just a friend. It's like your family. Oh, and I get it. Oh, yes, retired DUTYRON is retired law enforcement, definitely. And that's why a lot of people are saying that when she goes to go at DUTYRON the way she goes at other people, she might just F around and find out with him. Right? But who knows? What qualifications does Betty or JLR possess to convince people they could find their loved ones? Do you want to know? Do you want to know what JLR... Have you heard what JLR really is? Go type Jonathan Lee Rich's Sandy Hook into Google. And go and read what that insane, dangerous psychopath has done to families in tragedies. Because he's made the national news and went to jail for what he's done to families. I have covered it here. Deets on the Streets did a full breakdown on it in that hour-long JLR video. You could go watch that. I've been preparing a JLR video to do an in-depth kind of thing because I covered Sandy Hook. I debunked the conspiracies of Sandy Hook in a long live stream. Every single one of them. Every one of them that was there, I debunked them. I was trying to protect those kids and protect those families. Some way. By squashing down this massive conspiratorial mess that was there. Now, this is years and years and years ago. And JLR is the one that wasted law enforcement's time getting arrested out by the school. They thought he was a danger to the kids, a danger to people there because of the way he was acting. And he got picked up, he got questioned, and he told them and the news media that he was related to the shooter. This man is dangerous. And it makes perfect sense why Betty would say this. There's only a few people on the world that Betty and JLR would ever be able to find that are as bad as them.
I have a little, it's no different. I mean, even Dolly knows. If somebody was talking shit about Dolly, I would probably say something.
Dolly is a tragedy, pimp, perv, disgusting, nasty douchebag. You're not going to say a thing about it, are you? You won't. But let's go back to JLR, because what she's saying is, see, she doesn't know how to speak. So she's trying to tell people that she's going to defend JLR if somebody talks shit on JLR. Tell me that's not what she was saying. But she wanted to make sure that people knew she tries when she's in this attitude of where she feels like when she has received a narcissistic injury, just like Dolly, just like JLR. Now you have to be a narco to actually have this happen with you, but you receive a narcissistic injury. She defaults down to trying to bring these people up to give her credit. It's a way that she tries to relieve the narcissistic injury and alleviate the narcissistic cut that was given to her when this family put out that post, and when DUTYRON smacked her down to her place, and when Mystery Maven called her out and smacked her back down into her place. Her place is rock bottom. She's below the ground. You got baseline YouTubers, all the new YouTubers out there, they're a million times higher than these people, JLR, Betty, Dolly, all of them. And they, for some reason, don't notice this about themselves, that they've given themselves this reputation. They've given themselves this by their own behavior, by their own doxings, by all the stuff that they do. They've given themselves the reputation they have. But because they live and die by the lie, they think they can take the reality and just flip-flop it to the exact opposite of what it really is. Somehow, they're famous. Oh, you think I'm lying? She says it right here. Famous. In response to the family posting this, she's mad at the family. She is treating this family that's grieving, that is unable to have closure because they haven't found her alive, or, God forbid, anything else. They want closure. They want to know the truth. And she and her narcissistic friends feel like they have dissed them, and they're now trying to retaliate by turning them into some kind of YouTube enemy here.
About it as well, right? So this family...
Wonder Twin, perfect way to say it. She's treating them like garbage. Yes. Kathy P, hey, so glad to see you. So glad to see you. Violet, Donna, hey, I see you guys waving. Bestie, I see you, Grace. DUTYRON crosses his T's and dots his I's, and oh, she will F around and find out 100. He's a good guy from everything I've seen. I've watched that thing where DUTYRON made a mistake, and now when you go out on YouTube and you see someone make a mistake, have you ever clicked on their stuff? You hear them talk and you're like, no, they don't care. They're just doing this for face value. DUTYRON had real concern, real emotion. He was really sorry. You could tell that this man was really sorry. But let's take a break in the monotony of my monoton. Yo, it's the 19th. YouTube comes in to pay us on the 21st. So if you would want to support us, it would be immensely helpful right now. You don't have to. You're watching the show, and that's good enough for me. But for those of you that may want to support us, I'll drop the links in the chat. Thank you all for watching, and let's get right back to it. Let's put her on 1.5 times speed because I can't take this. Can't take her.
You know, I don't think they understood exactly what they were doing, but this girl here, you know.
And I just got through it. She says the family doesn't understand what they're doing. That's a threat. That is a threat. If you read this, she threatens them several times. She tries to threaten them by very subtly, because she knows the position she's in trying to threaten these people. It's a very subtle threat. I'm going to make it harder. If you don't play games with us, you're going to make it harder for your family member to be found. That's the context of what she's trying to do to this family. It's actually a tactic narcissists use to try. It's emotional blackmail. You lie, you gaslight, create a narrative. The narrative is that they're world famous YouTubers, not the infamous, they're really not, but infamous douchebags, the infamous just losers that they are. They're world famous YouTubers. And she builds the narrative so she can go in and say, by you telling us not to help, you will have a harder time finding your loved one. It's all the implication. It's all said here if you want to read it again. And then she even tries to say she's trying to tell a family whose feelings are not like, she's basically admitting that JLR is a crybaby loser. I'm sure your message hurt his feelings and his heartfelt efforts to help. This is just a lie. He did not have heartfelt effort to help. He has a heartfelt effort to make himself money and profit. God knows what he spends his money on, but looking at the man, it probably ain't anything good. But again, I'm not going to read it again, but remember what I read a little bit ago. How in the world does any of that say any of this? Because it's a narrative. It's emotional blackmail that she's building with this narrative and working into this narrative this morning.
You know, I'm looking into this case. She has drug and alcohol problems. She has.
Why are you bringing that up right now? Is it because it's a factual part of the case that you need to bring up in your reporting? No. You want to embarrass the family and you want to embarrass her and you're trying to throw shade because you're mad.
There's drug and alcohol problems that we're learning on the backside of this thing. So
what about yours? What about yours, Betty? What about JLR's?
You know, I'm not saying she's not in danger, but there is the possibility she ran off and is, you know, doing what she does.
How do you know she isn't rehabilitated, though? Because you looked into it. Okay, we'll look into it too, but go ahead.
So I don't know if that...
Stifler's mom says, saying the woman is a drug user and etc. makes her seem less important to find. And when someone actually hears that and believe it, they subconsciously put them in the back of their mind. Thank you. Exactly. I should have said that. I should have made that point, but thank you for having my back there. Exactly. Exactly. Kathy says, Stifler's mom, exactly. Good point. Yes. Very good point. Very good point. It's a way to, now you remember, she has to very slightly dehumanize. She has to dehumanize in implication. I'm asking myself, why is that the first thing you said? Like if you actually wrote down a script of what she said, the family doesn't realize what they're doing. She's a drug user. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't convey anything, but let's give her a chance because maybe she's going to add context after when if she respected this situation, respected this family at all, she would have added the context beforehand. Now, the reason you add context beforehand, and again, I'm guilty of this sometimes, but I do try only if it's a serious implication to add a little bit of context beforehand, because I don't want to prime the minds of my listener. They want to, now the implication you give, you say, hey, I got to tell you, let's use this as an example. I'm going to tell you that she is a drug user, but I want you to understand why I'm saying it so that you don't cheapen the fact that she's missing. You don't yada, yada. That's what I would do if I had to bring it up. And right now, while she's missing, only if it's necessary, would I bring it up. So we're going to hear why Betty brought that up. Is it to take shots at the woman? Is it to take shots at the family? Is it because she's mad at them? Because she's been taking shots and mad at them and angry over this situation. Or is she just doing it for a good reason? Let's hear.
If that has anything in here, not only that, but this gal here is from Illinois. It seems like that's where she loves to be. It seems like that's the state that she considers home. So it's possible she just said the hell with all this and went back to Illinois.
Why in the world is that what you're saying right now? Normally, you would be making this giant deal about how this woman's missing and you got to find her. You and JLR would be out searching for her and I don't even know, doing all this stuff and everything. Why in the world did you why is this the only case where you do the exact opposite of all the other missing cases you've covered lately? It's weird because this one case right here, you're doing the exact opposite from what you normally do, Betty.
So I think that people looking around this house now, I don't know the everything that's going on with her, but
you just said that you did. How do you not know everything that's going on with her, but choose to reduce the seriousness of this case by saying what you just said? Because if you knew everything, could you then come out and say she is a partier? She could be partying, right? Because again, you'd need to know whether she has went to rehab, whether she's been clean for X amount of years, whether she is on stuff, or whether that was when she was younger or something. If you don't know these things, you shouldn't have brought this up and made it a point. Again, why did you make it a point? What is the point? Tell me now. Tell me. Lauren. No, Lauren. I am your #1 fan. Oh my God, it's good to see you. I haven't talked to you in a week. Are the puppies okay? At least tell me that. Because every time I see you now, I see those 2 little puppies running around in my head. And I am going to remind people, I don't want you to get mad. It's only 2 days till payday. I'm just going to throw my other links down there for anyone that might want to dono. I am going to try, hopefully, to get the super chats to go to PayPal today, but they don't have to. I just appreciate you.
Definitely know that she has drug and alcohol problems, which could be contributed to why she's missing. And why would it contribute? Because some people, depending on what.
Thank you, B. Thank you, B. B donoed. Thank you so much. I'm going to look at it in a minute. I just want to make sure that, you want me to read it or not. Well, thank you. You are a blessing. Thank you. Just like Lauren and just like Wicked earlier donating the members. Thank you.
What type of drugs they are. They go on what is known as benders, right?
Hold on a minute. Hold up. Wait a minute. I got to get this in order. I got to get this. Did she really just say what I think she said?
Now, I don't know the...
Let's take her back down to regular speed for this, because again, this is literally 9 hours ago. So this would have been what I think it'd be around. I don't know what time zone she's in. I think it's East Coast. Yeah, I think she's in East Coast. We'll go ahead and say it's around 8 a.m. Now, she is still live, and she's been live all day. Right? But I am a little mad that she did this to this family.
Everything that's going on with her, but I definitely know that she has drug and alcohol problems.
This is what a tread. Navy, thank goodness you're here. Because I think this tragedy pimp is mad that this family told them to GTFO. And that because of that, she's trying to take shots and put down the case and put down the woman that's missing because the family wouldn't play ball with their tragedy pimping, money-making ways. Have you been watching?
Oh, I've been listening back and forth, and I agree with that 100%. They always get real mad when they get told to go the fuck away, and or to go away, right? And so, yeah, it doesn't surprise me at all.
And see, that's the thing is they do call themselves reporters and all this garbage, but the thing is, a reporter, if they went to interview a family and was told, no, we don't want reporters around, we're going through an emergency, those reporters are going to respect that. They're not going to feel a single shred of personal injury or narcissistic injury to what's happened there, right? It's almost explosive levels of insanity, isn't it?
And that's the crazy thing, is that they have made themselves so delusioned in their own grandeur that they cannot, for the life of them, they don't know how. Why wouldn't somebody want me on this case? Don't they know that in my magical world that's in my closet, I am the grand master detective of all things? I mean, come on now.
And then I think that's what she's done. Kathy made a good point. I'll read it in 2 seconds, Kathy, but that's what I think Betty's done. And now the case flips. Remember every of those missing person cases where it was just, we got to find them. It's so important. Oh my God, I'm helping find them, guys. This is the one case. You're going to tell me it's not related to what she wrote here to this family that was so gross and disgusting? Kathy says, Betty, you are a disgusting person to say this, all because they don't want your circus involved. That's their right, Betty. And see, Kathy, thank you. Because again, you brought up something I should have brought up, the right that the family has, which supposedly, as we all have heard a million times, Betty, she supports those rights. The right to privacy, the right of a respect for them to be grieving, because we also have lost loved ones and we were given the respect to grieve and the privacy to choose, right? So anyway, I don't want to damn Betty. Maybe Betty's just taken a little bit of time to get to her point, and I am pausing a lot, so let's see.
Which could be contributed to why she's missing.
I love how she says could.
Well, why would it contribute? Because some people, depending on what type of drugs they are.
Now, again, she's not being specific. She's choosing to give a hypothetical here. Right? A hypothetical. Really weird.
They go on what there is known as benders, right? We've heard that word before, binging, benders.
Yes. See, there is several different kinds of addiction or addicts that they classify in recovery, and one could be the kind that uses every single day, and that's typically an unfunctional addict. They'll be at the worst stage, though there are some that don't, and they will use on a weekend or every other weekend or every month or something. Like you had an example of someone that would go to a hotel and get really jacked up, but they wouldn't get jacked up when they weren't going to the hotel, and they do it every single month, remember? That's what you call a bender style. And there's all kinds of other styles or classifications of addiction. Those typically, though, are used by people that treat addiction to try to classify severity and the need for what kind of treatment would help them, though. And when it comes into this scenario, unless you can prove that she's using right now, and I know that some people out there may say, oh, but everybody knows she's using. Okay, fine. I haven't seen that. But the thing is, even so, I want you to understand the point I'm trying to make, and I might just be bad at making this point, or I might just be so angry. Again, this happened today, so I haven't had time to think about it or anything. You're getting a raw reaction here. Especially when I had to run the kids around, and I had to, one of my friends got in a car wreck, and I've been running them around too. But anyway, the point I'm making is raw reaction. And she goes from, the family doesn't want me to talk about this, but they don't know what they're saying. Their missing person is a drug addict. It just is the most disrespectful and garbage way of taking shots at this family. But let's hear where she takes this.
And stuff. I don't want to take away from her case, but there are other possibilities out there that the family is not being forthright with the community about this disappearance.
Jesus H. Christ. There it is. Whew. Sorry, Lord. But, wow.
I think I have a new name for her show. Let's call it True Crime for Dummies by Dummies.
True crime slime by dummies for dummies. I love it. She just delivered the blow. A real accusation that the family somehow, I wonder why she's saying now, and on something that's not true. Do not allow yourself to believe this woman, that this family is thinking about anything other than finding their loved one. Okay, let me get that out of the way so I can not yell like a dummy. They're just concerned in finding her. They're just devastated. When you're devastated, it's very similar, if not, because you can even be in shock. It's similar to shock, and you can be in shock. Okay? That family is devastated. They're not thinking about all this shit. Now, don't put it on the damn family because it's not their responsibility. It's the responsibility of law enforcement. The family is too biased by their loved one. They're too affected, and that effect causes a bias if they were out looking. Now, sometimes they do go anyway. Sometimes they can't be stopped. But the law enforcement comes in. Law enforcement has the ability to be able to put out bulletins and to be able to put out some type of surveillance, at least to be looking. And they have more resources than the family would. And that's why the family can rest assured so they can take care of themselves while law enforcement goes out, because that family going out and looking isn't going to do anything compared to what law enforcement's doing for them. And you're going to say that the family is doing something wrong here, and they are literally, now this goes beyond just an accusation, because she's saying they are withholding very important information from the public to make it harder to find her. Is that where she's going with this, Navy? Is that's what she's saying? Why else would they withhold it?
Because replace public with douchebag YouTubers, right? And that's what's happening, is that every time they get denied the chance to talk to somebody associated with one of their cases, right? All of a sudden, the reason that person doesn't want to talk to them, the reason that person doesn't want to talk to them is because now they're hiding info pertinent to the case from the public. No, exactly. They just don't want to talk to your dumbass.
Exactly. And listen, if you read, I read it a minute ago, what they said, this is not, Betty is inventing. Thank you, Voodoo Sue. Betty is inventing things. And I'm saying this to defend the family. I want to make sure I work in a defense to the family and call out Betty's lies while commentating on why Betty's doing this, because it goes beyond just Betty deciding to take shots at the family. It's a strategic, intentional operation, an intentional choice and action. And it's not just being done by her, it's being done by her and her tragedy pimping friends. They are talking in a group, they get mad in a group. Betty goes live, she can't help herself. She does this, okay? Very intentional. Now, intent is important. I know Betty doesn't understand why I said that. I know you do. But just because I know Betty's going to watch, I'm going to tell you why intent matters. See, when you choose to shoot somebody, or if you choose to defend yourself in self-defense, or if you choose to shoot a gun willy-nilly in the air and someone gets hurt, or if you choose to not do anything and you accidentally picked it up and it accidentally fired, that is the difference between you doing nothing wrong and you going to prison for life. So making sure you understand, Betty, you have intentionally chosen to lie about this family, intentionally taking shots. This is on purpose. This is planned. This is not spur of the moment. Navy says Betty is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Betty, the stuffed animals are not supposed to talk back to you. That's right. And I wouldn't, she just said that she's JLR's sister. And we know that JLR and most likely his family too, because he does. JLR takes stuffed animals. This is not a lie. The news reported this. He takes stuffed animals. He takes little baby looking dolls that are supposed to, he goes and buys a doll of a baby from the store. He cuts out a serial killer's face. He prints out a serial killer's face, cuts it out and tapes it to the baby doll and talks to it and calls it his friend. And he's not joking. And he is the person she is defending. You can't call me a liar, Betty, because if you search Jonathan Lee Rich's Sandy Hook and read those articles, they all discuss it.
And I have, questions for the family. How often has she disappeared like this before? Have you checked with her friends in Illinois? The family's not really
Oh my God, this makes me so mad. I can't even react to it. Again, guys, I'm sorry. This is a live reaction. Typically, if something makes me mad, I watch it a few times and I come in and I logically break it down, and I'm just trying not to yell.
have, you know,
I haven't been
Betty,
able
you
to do
don't-
that. Go ahead,
Betty,
buddy.
you don't have the right to ask this family for a cup of sugar,
Nothing.
let alone anything to do with the case. Betty, you are not law enforcement. Get it through your damn skull. You are not law enforcement. You are not an investigator. You're not even a private investigator.
This is her.
Oh my Lord.
This is her feeling entitled, bro. She thinks that her and JLR are entitled. And then Stifler's mom in the chat says JLR taped the Sandy Hook faces on the dolls and drove around with them and talked to them. He has a video still up. It's gross. And people support the man. People support the man.
Questions for the family. You know, how often has she disappeared like this before? Have you checked with her friends in Illinois? The family's not really communicating.
Joey, I'm with you. They last on here because we've commentated. I don't agree with that when it comes to them. I agree with that when it comes to some other communities. I only say that because I've only covered Betty for a few months. I haven't been putting a focus on her for years or anything like that. What I really hope happens, due to lots of people putting a focus on Molly, and of course Molly got herself banned, but Betty and the other tragedy pimps, is that they realize that they're not going to just delete or lie about what they've done. And yeah, at first it may seem that it gives them a little bit of a boost in views. So I'm with you there. But I've been doing this a really long time. And I know that it leads to us. It does lead to a resolution that would never have happened if it wouldn't have been covered by lots of people, not just me. But go ahead, Navy.
Well, and the thing is, for would you say it was Joey that asked this? Well, I'm not.
Yeah, and I appreciate the opinion. Yeah, but go ahead.
I think Joey, this community is a little bit different than some of the others that we've covered. While yes, they are still on YouTube, the thing is, the crux of what they do is just going out and harassing families. And one thing that reporting on them has done is it's allowed people to know what they do and be able to warn these families, warn the local PDs that this person's coming, because, you know, and we're watching real time right now when she starts blaming this family. The reason she's doing this is because somebody got a hold of that family and they said, don't come around here with your crazy YouTube stuff. And she's mad. And so you're seeing the effect it's having right now.
And this is the note that they put out right here. This is the Dreyer family releasing a note that says, earlier I read this, I'm not going to read it again, but it says, YouTubers, do not talk to us or come here. You are making us feel unsafe. Stop it. We deserve privacy. If you read Betty's response, and I've put it on Twitter, I'll go ahead and put it on Twitter again, so it's up at the top of my Twitter. Give me 2 seconds just for anyone that hasn't read it. Betty is gross, and I'll post it right now. There you go, on top of my Twitter. This is Betty taking these kind of insinuated shots at the family because they have said, get out of here. Now, Betty told them, I'm not going to cover this. Let me read it. Just that part. We will make sure your case won't be covered on YouTube or other social media, and we'll make sure every social media personality knows to stay away from this case. No, you won't. You can only take care of yourself. You lied because just a day later, 2 days later, you are here now not covering the case. You're saying this family doesn't literally, hey, the family doesn't want us to talk about this, but they don't know what they're talking about. The girl's a drug addict. She's probably just out doing drugs. That is literally the script of what we've just watched. Let's see what she says next.
They want all this help, but they don't want to communicate about their missing loved one.
Yes, they did, you liar, because they have been in communication with the police the whole time. The whole time, you liar.
And, you know, God bless JLR, because even after
God, look, here's what's wrong, Betty. You guys think that Satan is God. You've got it backwards, because God isn't blessing JLR. He doesn't bless people that do these things to people, but there is a false God that does. And that's what's tricked y'all.
After being disrespected by this family, he's
disrespected for I read it. It's not
still out in the
disrespectful.
woods looking for her.
Bullshit. He's making it look like he is. For God's sakes, you just said that she's probably out partying somewhere. I don't believe you at all. That man talks to dolls. Even if he thinks he's in the woods looking for her, he's got serial killers' faces taped to dolls at his house and in his car, and he thinks they're his friends. He sympathizes with the serial killers. Go read about him, Betty. He hasn't changed. He is still the same person. He used to talk about how he could rip people off using the internet. He has done interviews. He has sat there and talked about how, oh yeah, you can make lots of money stealing money and ripping people off on the internet, and bragged about it. And you want us to think that the man isn't, when he's out there not reporting on a case, but faking it, lying, stalking people, attacking people, doxing. He just went on a doxing spree. And you want us to think he's somehow reformed? Hell no.
When nobody else is.
Well, I got two things right fast.
Hold
Number
on.
one,
The last thing, hold on. The last thing she said is really important. She said, JLR is looking when no one else is. Let that sink in. This is not reporting of what's going on with this case. This is literally a defamatory narrative to try and shoot back at this family. Go ahead, man.
well, one, and I'm gonna put this out there. JLR has found something in the past. The only thing that man has ever found is other people's identities, right?
Exactly.
And then went to prison. And number two, Frog made a gift for you in the bottom of General. And so I
Oh,
figured to let
sorry,
you know.
my general was locked up. I'm
It
in the
is
wrong room. I'm in the wrong room.
It's a
Okay.
squiddy. It's a squiddy with a face on it.
Oh, God. Oh, no. Jelly Belly, what have you done to yourself? No, this is Jelly Belly. We're about to add another squid to our stream, but this squid is named Smelly Belly. Jelly Belly. And welcome, Smelly Belly. Everybody say hi to Smelly Belly the squid. Say hi to Smelly Belly the skid. The squid. You know, oh man, oh God, you've got to fly up there a little bit, Smelly Belly, because you do not smell good. Shut up, Uni, I will choke you to death with my tentacles. Get up there. No, I'm streaming. That ain't happening right now. Thank you, Jelly Belly, for staying down here, and get out of here, Smelly Belly. You stank. You a stanky squid.
I don't think she's out there. I think she's somewhere else.
Jesus H. Christ, Navy. If you would have told me 2-3 days ago when we first read this response to the family from her that she was going to go live, attack the family, and try to convince everybody that their child, I say that because her parents are looking for her, but the daughter,
Right.
the adult daughter that's missing is a druggie that is fine and it's just out there partying. I wouldn't have believed you. I would have said that would be too obvious. Betty doing that would be too obvious. It would be, especially after streaming the court thing and all that stuff. It's just, no, she wouldn't have done that, but she did. She did the unexpected. She went out and did something grosser than we could have even guessed for her to do.
Well, and what I'm guessing is that, so I'm guessing wherever Betty stays, because she likes to choose like the cheapest places to stay, that she probably has some second-rate Taco Bell one night and farted so much that she gas-boxed herself into hallucination, thinking it was a premonition and that she knows what she's doing.
And wherever
So true.
she's at, I believe she went to on her own free volition.
So yeah, Betty, you think the woman's missing, you and JLR, by your own admission. You believe that you and JLR should look for this woman, and that JLR is doing God's work looking for this woman. And you are sympathetic, and then the family says, leave us alone, let police handle this. You flip out on them. And now, ironically, this is the one missing persons case that you're not looking for because she's a druggie and she's probably just chilling somewhere. Even if she is chilling somewhere, and I hope and I pray to God that she is alive, hanging out somewhere. even if she had to relapse, even if that's what has to happen for her to have gone missing, I hope that's the case. I just hope that she's alive. I hope she didn't. I hope she's not relapsed and missing. It's just, if I had to choose, yeah, I want her to be alive regardless. Okay? But you admitted you don't know, and yet you're drawing this conclusion. How? You must tell us how. Why are you drawing this conclusion when before the family said this, you held the opposite opinion? Why?
As opposed to being hurt, injured, or anything like that. So I wanted to make sure that we did cover her case. I swore I wasn't going to cover her case because I thought her family was very rude and inconsiderate of the people.
Jesus H. Christ. She makes me want to read it again, and I don't want to bore my audience by reading this again, but I will read it at the end. I'm going to read what the family said, a very small, respectful article thingy here. Paragraph. I see I can't even talk. And, oh my God, I have to hear what she just said again. 5 seconds back.
Because I thought her family was very rude and inconsiderate of the people that are out there helping. Somebody said she may have overdosed. It's possible. Because we had Stephanie Shenefield. Remember? She was the bartender here in my community.
What? What? Who said this? Smelly belly?
As I thought her family was very rude in her case.
I have to hear
like
this.
that.
I can't even process this. The family was very rude. Now that the family had said this, I've changed my opinion from looking for her to she probably OD'd. Or what?
As opposed to being hurt, injured, or anything like that.
I love that you're such a good investigator. The piece of evidence that changes your entire outlook on this case is this. No, this is what you consider evidence to change your entire opinion on a missing persons case.
So I wanted to make sure that we did cover her case. I swore I wasn't going to cover her case because I thought her family was very rude.
Because you're lying, Betty. This is not a mistake. You're lying, Betty.
And inconsiderate.
Lying.
Of the people that are out there helping.
Lying because JLR was not helping. He was creeping them out. They said that he made them feel unsafe, that he creeped them out. He's a creeper, Betty. Everywhere he goes, you're going to get this response from now on. Everywhere you go, everywhere he goes, you are creepers. You creep. People are going to get creeped.
Somebody said she may have overdosed. It's possible. Could we have?
Who said this, Navy? Who said that she may have overdosed? Who? I've never seen that.
Betty's stuffed animals told her this morning in the brief they had.
Stephanie Shenefield. Remember? She was the bartender here in my community. Nobody knew where she was at.
Did she overdose because she was part of your community, Betty? Did you come into the bar too many times and she was just like, I can't take it anymore? Betty came into the bar asking the barkeep for a new roof too many times.
We knew that she had a drug problem. We figured she was probably on a bender, and maybe that was why she wasn't found. And then her body is found in a.
Lauren says that someone in her chat said it. I think probably Lauren. Yeah, probably
in a ditch.
Yes,
in Palmetto, not too far away from
has to be left alone.
About 20 minutes away.
Yes, this is all in response to a very polite message saying we want our privacy respected. That's what this is in response to.
And it was her drug dealer.
Today. This is today. Last time I checked, she's still live. Skip ahead to this live broadcast.
Oh, Jen T says JLR is live searching supposedly.
JLR is too incompetent to help with anything. He's probably walking in circles. He probably thinks he's on the moon. God knows what he thinks.
It was her drug dealer. She was at her.
Cheesy says, is this the reason she wanted Don Wells fired too? Because he wouldn't give her the interview? Yes, Cheesy. Yes. And it's very possible that she might go as far as she did with Don Wells to this family. It's very possible. This is why I'm covering it like this. In the past, Cheesy just mentioned a case, and I've been trying to collect everything on that so I could show people this, like do an upload. But it's just so hard because of them deleting everything, and clip channels get nuked sometimes, especially after years. So anyway, Don Wells, in the case of the Wells case, which they always talk about, he told them that he would do an interview with them, and they were all together. Molly and them were all together, and they go to meet him, and he realizes who they are and what they're doing, and he calls them back and says, "I'm not going to do an interview with you." So they get him fired from his job. They dox him, they harass him, they flip out on him, they call and scream at him and all this crazy stuff. I even think, didn't they go to his home and bullhorn him for that? Because I swear I've seen a video of them bullhorning.
Oh, they did.
The guy.
He walked out with a, I think it was a weapon or something, and they were like yelling and screaming. But they bullhorned his house.
They become victims. Now they're victims then, right?
Yep.
Infamous says police or someone need to know these defamatory, disrespectful comments are being made, so someone can reach a lot of people, and they're going to assume false statements. And I get what you're saying. Again, I can't do that. But if someone does, make sure you're being respectful, that you don't let anyone convince you to do it. The same thing I always say about filing reports. Don't let me and my reaction influence you. Go watch the source material yourself, and then if you feel that you must do something, make sure that you're careful, make sure you follow the law, make sure you follow the rules. That's all I can say if someone does that. I'm not going to instigate it, though, or I'm not going to tell you to. I do hope someone protects this family, however it has to happen, like legally, with a lawsuit or a restraining order. I think that the family should put a restraining order on JLR and Betty. And in the future, when they show up to future stories, I believe that the first smidgen of them even trying to pursue someone's location, those people should file a restraining order on these people, and they should use the behavior, their cyber stalking, doxing behavior as a reason for it. That's my opinion.
Drug dealer's house, she overdid it. She was already complaining of heart problems the day or two coming up to this day that she decided to take an Uber over to her drug dealer's house. But while she was dying, her drug dealer R'd her. And then when she finally expired, he threw her away like a bag of garbage, and then went to his girlfriend's birthday party the next day. A real despicable guy. There is this situation like that. So I do believe that there is a possibility of that. But here's what. They were able to find Stephanie in a matter of days. This is already...
What does Stephanie have to do with this? Okay, we're going to come back to this. This is, it's hard to tell. What I'm going to do is the woman's name. I want to make sure I spell it. Oh, she didn't put it in. It's Dyer. What's her name, Navy? Do you know how to spell it? Randolph Richardson. Oh my gosh, the legend, the man, the legend, the myth is in my freaking chat, y'all. Randolph Richardson. Guys, give him some emojis, please. Good friend of mine. Hook him up. Missed you, buddy. Hope you're doing good out there. Hope you're doing your thing, bro. Sarah, D-R-Y-E-R. Thank you. D-R-Y. Oh, it's D-R-E-Y-E-R. Yeah, I knew it was hard to spell. That's why I asked you guys. Now, do me a solid, y'all. Tomorrow is the last day that I got to get through before payday. So if you do want to dono tonight, consider doing it here. PayPal.unirock or Unirock. Those, I just put it in the chat. Just consider it. You don't have to or nothing. I'm just saying if you want to, it would be a great day to do so. We're going to search for a news broadcast about Sarah. We're going to look for some facts about Sarah. And we're going to see I want to understand this. JLR does not need to be YouTube needs to go through JLR's channel. That's just a fact. That is just an absolute fact. Team YouTube needs to go through his channel.
JLR needs to go back to prison.
I do not disagree. He should not be doxing people and doing all this. The man is literally just walking around Florida and a nature preserve on the road. I mean, the dude just goes out and he pretends that he's trying to help find missing people. And all he does is go and walk around. He just goes and randomly walks around. He has no method. He has no training. He has no degree. In fact, he has the opposite. He has a reputation of stalking people. And he is accused now, not just a reputation, he's accused of stalking people. Just ridiculous.
Randolph says, Rockalot, by the way, I'll be hosting a 420 live stream tomorrow evening on my YouTube channel. I'm interviewing a lady who ran a grow op with 13 houses before it was legal here and got busted.
Ooh. Damn, mods. If you can grab the link to Randolph's video, throw it in the chat. Because he's one of our friends. He's one of our peeps. So hook him up. Yeah, I'll try to go set an alarm after the stream, Randolph, because I want to see that.
Sarah Dreyer was last seen entering a preserve in the
Okay, so she was last seen entering a preserve.
11,000 block of Donnymore Drive in
Who's this? That doesn't look like her.
Riverview, Florida, on April 10th, 2023.
Doesn't look like her.
At approximately 2 p.m.
Hold on a minute. Is this her? How is Betty saying that this woman is a drug addict? Why did a drug addict enter a nature reserve to go hiking, go missing, and Betty thinks it's an OD or that she's partying? How? What?
She was last seen wearing a black tank top and blue shorts with black tennis shoes.
It's crazy. And that's what happens. They just make stuff up, or somebody in their live chat says something and they're like, oh, this is good. And I'm just gonna repeat it without having any information or evidence whatsoever. And Voodoo Sue sent you a PayPal.
Voodoo Sue, did you? Oh my goodness. Oh, thank you. I love you too. You emailed? If you sent it to my email, try to send it to will someone drop that email link down there? And I'll make sure to get it checked, okay, Sue? And just give me some time, okay? I'll make sure to get it checked, but thank you. Thank you.
Sarah is 38 years old. She is 5'3".
She does not look like someone currently on drugs, dude. I don't know why a current drug addict is going to go into a nature reserve where they can't get their drugs. And Betty just said that she probably OD'd in the woods.
I think Betty's just mad because she's real pretty and Betty's all skeletal-y.
Something freaking stinks in this studio, dude. Smelly belly, what are you doing? I told you to get up there. You smell funny. Go. I don't want to be up there. I want to choke you. Get up there. I'm throwing you out of the stream, smelly belly.
If you have any information, please contact the Hill.
Jelly belly, you have a very sweet, almost fruit roll-up kind of smell. That's because I love them and I eat them all the time. I wish you'd do that and stop. What do you eat that makes you smell so bad, smelly belly? Crack! And a lot of it!
Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office at.
That explains it!
24.
That explains it.
This morning, the father of a missing Minnesota woman's children is breaking his silence on Kingsbury, who's been missing for nearly 2 weeks. Okay, that's not the same case. Man, it's so hard to find anything about her. Okay, let's get off YouTube. And
Ms. Lee says, literally, Sarah went missing from my neighborhood. I speak to people who knew her. No drugs mentioned. Makes me mad.
Ooh, bam. Oh, damn. If you have anything that you please don't send any private information at all. But if you have anything, even if it's just a quote, whatever you want to share with us, email it. My mods will drop the email, okay? Because I'd love to put some counter evidence out against Betty's defamatory, slanderous claims against a missing woman who looks to me as if I just don't understand why. I don't understand. You know what? Let me go to where Betty's at, because Betty's on Twitter. So let me go look there. Let me go look. I just want to know, like, what is motivating? Okay, here's the first thing I found, a missing poster. She was last seen approximately 2 p.m. walking toward the back entrance gate of a Bell Creek Nature Reserve. It looks to me like she would be hiking. She doesn't look like she's on drugs. Maybe she did drugs when she was a kid. Don't we all do drugs as kids? Smelly Belly, you have a stinky defamatory squid. I'm about to kick you off my stream. You know what? Get out of here. No, I don't want to go. Get out of here, Smelly. There you go. Get your crack ass out of here. Oh God, it smells so much better in here. This is the area Sarah Dreyer went missing from over a week ago. Her house sits along the reserve and walking path. Exactly. Okay. One couple told me they spent hours walking it and told me it was a small reserve. There's a candlelight vigil scheduled tomorrow. There's Queen B. Am I following Queen? Yes, good. Retweet this. Okay, so it looks like Queen took the post. There have been a few YouTubers coming by the house trying to speak to the family. We appreciate the platform. You spread the word for Sarah to get respect to film the request to them. Okay, we read that. Oh, and then here's Bullhorn Betty's insanity. Okay. So that makes sense that Queen Bee posted that. Okay. Okay, let's see what we got here. This is an update on Sarah Dreyer and her being missing. Again, this looks like when she was a little bit younger, maybe. Maybe she's a little younger here too. And that's the same picture. Nope, it's a different picture, same outfit. This looks like when she's a little bit older, right? I don't get the feeling. I don't see a Betty in front of me. I don't see a JLR in front of me. And if you get what I'm saying there. The pinned post at the top of the feed has been updated to include this timeline. I hope it answers some questions that have been made. We are trying to update information as... Okay, this is from their account. Lauren says, Junkie is one of BHB and MGL's go-to insults for people they don't like. Betty probably made it up to smear this woman. I guarantee it. I guarantee it, because like we just said, somebody from the area is in the live chat. And they've talked to people about it, because you would. If you live around her, people are going to be talking at the store, the gas station. If you're like in one of the reservey areas, like a different one, they're going to talk about how a woman went missing from the reserve near us. So you're going to hear things. And if she was on drugs, or if that was part of the case, I think we'd hear it from more people than just boo boo doo doo Betty. But let's see what this says, because this is from her account after she went missing. This is from her account. I think her family would have posted it, okay? So, we are trying to and you know, what did Betty say? Betty said that they're withholding information. Betty said that the family is withholding information, trying to make it harder to find Sarah. I just cannot... It's evil. We're facing evil. We are facing evil somehow. Through YouTube. It's insane that they take it so seriously that we would have to face a form of evil, but we are. So this is from Sarah Dreyer's account. Volunteers and family have all had the same questions you're all asking. See, that's why JLR's stalker, dangerous ass does not need to be down there looking around. That's why. There are other people in the woods. He's in the woods. God knows what'll happen if they bump into each other. He's a dangerous man. And I've already proven why. It is not defamatory to say that. The man wants to go and do what he did at Sandy Hook. If he wants to upload videos and take little baby dolls and put the faces of serial killers on them and then talk to them as if they're his best friends and defend them, the child murderers, defend child murderers in that way, which he did. He lied and said that he was a relative of the Sandy Hook shooter so that he could get attention, so that he could make money, and then bragged about it. And he got in trouble and got arrested for doing it too. So I don't want to hear shit from anybody that JLR isn't dangerous, or he should be out there looking, or he would be helping the situation in some way. There is literally the only reason that man's out there is so that he can profit. That's the only thing he's out there for. We're trying to piece the facts together and make decisions based on them to advance the search efforts. Betty, you are proven to be a liar. Are you going to... You're live right now, or are you going to go live again and apologize to Sarah's and her family? Are you going to apologize for saying that the family has been withholding information when I'm proving they are not withholding information right in front of your eyes? Monday, her day started off normal, dropping her kids off at a private school and returning home at 8:30 a.m. This doesn't sound like drugs, Betty. She departed her house walking towards the back preserve entrance and was caught on a Ring camera at 2:01 p.m. walking alone and carrying her phone. Her husband, she lives with her husband and her children, and she takes them to a private school, and you've accused her of ODing, and you've accused her of being a partier and a drug addict, Betty. I know I'm being a little cringy. I just can't fucking help it. She departed her house walking towards the back preserve entrance and was caught on a Ring camera walking alone and carrying her phone. Her husband returned home from work at approximately 4 p.m. to an empty house and the dogs on the patio. She saw a note from her on the fridge and immediately called the sheriff's department and neighbors to begin searching for her in the preserve. Neighbors began searching at 4:30 and continued until 2 a.m. Tuesday. HCSO immobilized air and ground assets to begin searching the preserve and dam areas. Later that afternoon, the video of her walking on the preserve was found by detectives, and search efforts were consolidated to the preserve. Colleagues of the husband organized a ground search. HSO searched additional day. At the request of the family, We Are the Essentials, nonprofit, also joined the efforts and helped coordinate volunteers in the area. See, this is why if JLR is not a coordinated volunteer, he does not... You agree with me that if JLR wants to search, he can go and sign up with the rest of everybody else and be coordinated in it, right? He would have to be.
Yeah. Well, because they know how to do it too. So they're working with law enforcement.
They're working with quadrants. They're searching
and they know
quadrants.
where to go. And they know how to search and what to do when they find something, not some weirdo out by himself in the woods. You know, I mean, that's so creepy.
They act like, and I can't believe there are people on YouTube that think that just some rando out there walking around is doing something good. You know? Someone that's not communicating to the rest of the search and not searching where he needs to be searched, not updating people that this area has been searched. It's just a waste of time. And it puts people in danger if he's a freak, and he is one. Now, I want to make sure that you guys understand, I'm not saying that she isn't a drug addict or that she wasn't using drugs. She could have been. But the point is, the way that Betty just said it, this woman went out and is partying or something, and then the family's just confused that she's missing. That's what Betty said. You can rewind my stream if you didn't hear it. She said that this woman probably went out to party and the family's just, you know, thinking that she's missing and stuff. I think she's going to be found perfectly fine out with her friends, you know, on a bender. She said she was on a bender. She's one of these people that are probably on a bender. I played it. Go listen to it. Now, what I'm saying is that she could be on drugs. She could be using them or misusing them. It doesn't matter because you only make that argument if it has to be made. If you have proof put out by the family, if Betty knew how to do any research whatsoever, that she has been seen on a Ring camera, she left a note, and she is definitely missing, that is what I want you to understand from this, okay? She was seen on a Ring camera, left a note. It's not optional that she's missing. You don't just not look for her because, oh, Betty heard that she's on drugs, so don't look for her. This is defamatory, slanderous, and it's done to go against the investigation. That's why it's done. It's done to punish the family for telling them to stay out of it. Just like, remember when she blew up at DUTYRON? That's why I opened with that. She blew up at DUTYRON because DUTYRON said, Betty, you are endangering the trial by what you're doing and breaking the law. So she threatens him. Now, she can't directly threaten the family right now because she knows she would get canceled so fast. So she's trying to as subtly do it as she can, and it's not even subtle, dude. It's not even subtle. Go ahead, Navy.
Nope. Mrs. Lisa, the cops at the crime scene were so irritated by him. He kept bothering them, asking them questions, and the cops kept saying to JLR, you know better than to ask me that.
Because he's not trying to help. You know, he's not trying to help. He's not trying to do something good. What he's trying to do is make money by LARPing as a search and rescue person.
Already been going on. This lady is not out there.
This lady is not out there. Why do they have a Ring camera recording of her out there? Why did she leave a note saying she's going out there? Why was she seen walking out there? Why is she not at her home with her 2 kids and her husband? If she's not out there, you just said out loud that the woman isn't out there. I just heard it.
This has already been going on. This lady is not out there.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? It looks like Blaze Fairchild got accidentally hid, and it was because there was a sex bot in here, guys. So Navy tried to. Let me see if I can turn off moderation activity here.
No, I unhid them, and I got rid of the sex bot.
Okay, I just want to have moderation activity toggled to be hidden. Moderation activity will be hidden. Hold on, let me.
She's not out in the woods. People saw her leaving willingly.
Wait a minute. We just read the family say the exact opposite. You know this. She's doing this on purpose, Navy. She's doing this on purpose. She's saying the opposite of what's true to try to piss off the family because they upset her.
She's pulling
Running
a
Bear
Molly.
says, but Running Bear says what BHB is doing should be criminal. It is. That's what she doesn't understand. It is. It's not only is it wrong, not only is it I'll call you soon, honey. Not only is it wrong, not only is it immoral, not only is it unethical at the base level, no ethical argument here, no moral argument, no grandstanding. This is base level. This is literally base level, okay? And she's saying the opposite. It is wrong. It is endangering. She's not. Remember when she just endangered the trial by playing the audio that the judge forbidden to be playing, forbidden to be playing, whatever I say. Now she's trying to endanger the search operation by taking the information that's out there and bringing a lie of a narrative here to punish the family for telling them to fuck off. And the family did not tell them to fuck off in a bad way. They said it in the most respectful way humanly possible. They said, please respect our privacy.
So she's either with someone doing things that she shouldn't be doing. She could
Oh my God.
very well be deceased, or she could have went back to Illinois.
How do you know this? You don't.
You know what she said in the beginning when you weren't here? She said, I've done some investigating.
Yeah, I'm sure you have.
This is what I wanted to make sure that
Grace, you are so right. Positivity. Whether you're religious, whether you're not religious, if you pray or if you meditate or if you just use your thoughts to try to be positive and keep yourself positive. Thank you for saying that to me. Thank you. Well, thank you for putting it in the chat. I know you weren't saying it directly to me, but thank you for putting it in the chat because I need reminders to stay positive when I'm reacting to this kind of stuff because it drives me up the wall.
her face was broken.
This just happened. This is all breaking news. I hope to God Queen Bee covers it. I hope Queen goes live and covers this. Because I swear to God, it looks like Betty is live right now. She may not be. She might have went off the air. No, she's live, and look what she does. No commentary. No commentary. She just plays the trial. She's not like Rakita Law. Now, Betty says that if you do that to someone, you should be struck. Right? So why is she not living by that right here?
Brought up, and I also wanted to make sure that everybody had the reality of this case.
Hold on a minute. You said you weren't sure by your own admission. You said you don't know everything by your own admission. You said that these were rumors by your own admission. This is why you are criticized. You deserve it. Don't act like I'm some kind of junky cockroach. No, what you call us, jellyfish? Don't act like we're jellyfish channels. Don't act like we're jellyfish channels. The only jellyfish around here is this stinky jellyfish that I just swatted off of my screen. This is a nice jellyfish. This is Jelly Belly. He's our friend. He's a co-host. He doesn't say much, but he's a co-host. Bobby, thank you, dude. Appreciate it. So the problem is, as you hear, again, the criticism that I'm giving Betty, I am proving, even maybe you just don't realize it, Betty. Maybe that's why you get so mad at me proving what you're doing. Maybe you have just lost it so much that you're subconsciously attacking this family. I don't know. But you are not giving the information that you're giving for any positive reason, real reason, or anything. You're not. But it just goes completely against the what the family has put out. That she left a note on the fridge. People saw her go into the reserve. She's on a Ring camera being recorded walking into the reserve like in a hiking fashion after dropping her children off at a private school. Right? It almost is like she went on a hike because of the weather getting better and not being nasty. It's winter anymore. In a reserve that she lives in. Probably she lives there so she can do these things. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe she left a note and it was a suicide note, but there's no reason to think that. They would tell us if that was the case. The note most likely said, I dropped the kids off at school, honey. I'm going to take a walk in the reserve. Because, of course, there are weirdos out there like people who talk to dolls with serial killers' faces put on them. There are weirdos literally in that woods right now, JLR. But there are, even before JLR went there, there are people out there that will hurt women in the woods. Look at Gabby Petito. Look at what's happened in the last couple years. It is irresponsible. Regardless of what you think about this story, you should have waited to put this out. You should not be putting it out now. It's irresponsible. It's wrong. And I've proven you're doing it with a spiteful, complete intentional.
And again, the family has not talked about her drug issues. They have not talked about her alcohol issues. And they're basically saying that she's missing. And she very well may be missing, but they're.
Wait a minute. That sentence doesn't make sense, Betty. It doesn't make sense. If she's missing and it isn't involving her drug use or alcohol use or something, then why are you thinking that they should be posting it or something? You still haven't told us. You keep skipping the reason you're saying. You'll build up to everything that involves slandering her, putting her down, telling people what she's doing, but you won't tell us why. You just won't tell us why you're saying this. Because the family has put out every piece of this. I found it in seconds. Seconds. Because you're so bad at this and I'm so good at this.
They're preventing people from really truly helping because they're not telling everybody all the information necessary.
Oh my God, Navy, I just fucking figured it out, dude. She's trying to change the reason they don't want people, rando people. We want to bring Sarah home. Please respect the family's privacy. Don't film them or request to speak to them. And they deserve privacy. Leave them alone. She's trying to change the reason that they want privacy when it's because of Betty, JLR, and Doug in Florida creeping on them and creeping them out. Right? We had someone in the chat that claims that JLR broadcasted himself on a live stream and they saw him go up to the cops and the cops were like, there's no reason to ask us this. And he was just annoying the cops because he's such an idiot. He's so incompetent, just like Betty at this stuff. So you know that if they go to approach the family, it's going to really scare the family because they're incompetent. They don't have no manners. They have no respect. They scare people that they're around. Of course, again, JLR is being accused of stalking a woman in another case, a wife of a man, trying to sniff her damn driver's seat, peep in her car like a little peeper. He's literally accused of peeping in the windows of their freaking home. And Betty doesn't want her audience and she can't handle the fact that they have been told to leave the family alone because of their reputation, so she's changing it. The family really wants to be left alone so they can hide. Do you see what am I saying this properly, Navy?
Yes, no, 100%.
Often the best help is no help at all. Great job, Uni. Thank you. You're welcome. No, I'm glad I had time in between my hectic day to put all this together. I apologize that I was late coming in. But if my kids need me, stream has to wait. Randolph says, please see Petunia's comment about law enforcement's request to tag family in your video so they can pursue legal action against defamation. Petunia, at Petunia, let me see.
Yeah, it's Petunia in the live chat.
Petunia said, I called Riverside law enforcement and they asked that the family be tagged in the video so they can pursue any defamation, but unfortunately laws were broken. I don't know how to do that, but I'll try. Here. Okay, so we take Betty's video. Tag the family would mean I see they want this account on Facebook to be tagged with a link and a timestamp to what Betty is doing so that the family can know and pursue defamation charges, is what Riverside just told Petunia in our chat, because Petunia is from there. Petunia also says, if some YouTuber made these claims against my daughter, I'd be taking them to court for defamation. I would too. Okay. So a viewer from the area called Riverside and they said to tag the account that the fam is using, let them know the time stamp and what Betty is saying here so they can pursue defamation and court, most likely harassment, I would assume, against Betty for this defamatory video. All I can do is let my mods know, and my mods know not to do anything they're not supposed to do. They're very, very much berated with instructions. I'm just kidding, but it seems that way, right, Navy?
I don't know what you're talking about. You yell at us all the time. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, Rachel's very studied on the legal, and she's talked to our lawyer and she's made sure we know what we can and can't do. It would be perfectly fine if somebody did tag the family on whatever account they're using to communicate things, and just allow them to know this. Again, especially if Riverside said that was what should happen. But do not, please, that the family themselves, now the family isn't running this account. Family's not running the account. They have someone else posting for them. Probably a representative, I don't know. Don't pursue the family. They're destroyed. Sarah, regardless of Betty sitting here just trying to demean the woman, is a good woman, a good person. She's a wife. She's a mother. And even if she's faced addiction issues, it doesn't mean that what Betty is saying about her is true. It doesn't mean she should be treated this way while she's missing, for God's sakes. I still don't know where Betty gets any of this from. I mean, I'm looking at everything online. Someone says that, oh, I see where she got this. You recall the family put out she left a note on the fridge. So YouTubers and TikTokers have tried to say that was a suicide note. And it ended up turning into that there was a bottle of empty pills found on the ground at the home. Right? And if that hasn't been put out by the police or the family, how could that be true? How? Who would know that? Who would be able to spread that? And let's say that she took a bunch of pills and went into the reserve. So what? so? How does that make... Like, Betty is telling everybody the woman's alive out partying. She's not saying what the other people are saying, that it could have been suicide. She's not saying that. Betty is trying to say, nah, she's out running around partying in the woods.
Siri to be able to be a benefit. So that's our coverage for Sarah Dreyer. We hope that she is found and brought home safely.
No, you fucking don't. After everything you just said about the woman, no, you don't. And again, Betty, if you want to challenge me, take what Betty said, write it as a script. Go into your script and do this. And yes, I need the billboard of doom for this. This is the billboard of doom. It helps me think. So write the script of what Betty is saying. Okay, so here's Betty's script. Now, each of these lines, let's imagine, is a paragraph. The paragraph embodies a point that Betty's making. Okay, so then you go to your little thing you just made here, whoop, and you take a bracket, if I could do a bracket properly, and then write what she said. She said, family doesn't want us to talk about this. She said, family doesn't know what they have no clue what they're talking about. She said, she's a druggie. Phil. She said, she's a druggie. She said, all this other. Now, you go through and label every point Betty's making in the paragraph until you've got the script of what we just played for you. And then ask yourself, why would anyone say this? Why would anyone say it? Number one, there's no evidence to back it up. Betty admits that herself. Number two, she says this is all from rumors. Even if she was going to say this, why wouldn't she say this after the woman was found? Though there's one other point in here that I think matters most of all. Why ever would you make claims that the family isn't trying to find her? That the family is trying to take measures that would stop her from being found? Why would you ever make that claim? It's so destructive. It's ridiculous. It's crazy. It's defamatory. It's insulting. It puts down this woman after assuming things that you don't know. Regardless of the fact if it even turns out to be true, Betty didn't know that. She did this as a hit, a motivation to attack this family. So the last thing I want to do before we close this out, go to the live chat and see what you have to say. I read this at the beginning, and I know, guys, I'm a little annoying, but I'm going to read it again really quick. There have been a few YouTubers coming by the house and trying to speak up to the family. While we appreciate the platform, believe it's being used to help spread the word, no, it's not. Look at Betty. This is Betty and JLR and them. The tragedy pimps are the reason why the platform is not being used to help these stories. If they were to stop this, then the platform could again be used to help. But not with these people existing. Not with these people doing what they're doing. Respect the family's privacy. Don't film them or request to speak to them. The situation is unimaginable. They deserve to feel safe on their property because JLR and his friend made them feel unsafe. Additionally, if anyone is out there and approached by a YouTuber, remember that the information you have should only be shared with the police, not a YouTuber. And this has spawned Betty's anger. Betty, before they said this, wanted to find this woman, wanted to help find her. Oh my God. After they said this, the woman's a druggie and she's still alive and yada, all this garbage that just came out of her mouth. And I hope, Navy, that I have made this presentation without pausing too much, without complaining too much. It's just hard to sometimes, especially when there was no time for me to bring this to you right now and have reacted and have thought about this more. You had to have more raw reaction from me. And I am working to reel in the annoying parts of myself where I do get too pissy or upset and complainy, or I do get too mad at what I'm looking at. Again, though, I feel for this woman and their family. I can't imagine what they're going through. I just can't imagine it. So I apologize if I am a little running off of the mouth. What do you got?
No, I can't imagine it either, and I can't imagine why this aspect of like Betty thinking that there's this psychotic delusion in her brain that somehow if her and JLR aren't allowed to interrupt the cops, interrupt this family's life and all this kind of stuff, that this person's not going to be found, that they're not releasing all the information to the cops because they need to release all the information to the cops that they release, that they release to Betty and JLR. And that is just, I don't know, psychobabble bullshit.
Unbelievable. Right? Unbelievable. It is. You're right. You're right. Well, no. I'm not trying to change who I am at all. I really am just trying. People that have made that criticism of me, they're right. And I'm only listening to anyone that made the criticism in a fair way. They made it in a heartfelt way. People that got angry and stuff, I'm not listening to. The people that actually are like, yo, here's a criticism. I want to hear that. I really do. Right? I want the show to be better for you guys. I wish I had more time to prepare this one. You will notice that when I do have time to prepare a show, it's a lot more put together and a lot faster because I get to write out the outline. I went into this one with no outline, like I've done a lot in the last 2 weeks, because it's springtime, so the kids are needing a million more rides, a million more things are going on with the family, Easter happened. You get what I'm saying, right? Okay. See something, say something. Truth on this platform is informative. Appreciate the truth. That's right. 1 pound of prevention of defamation, slander, harassment, and tragedy pimping is worth a ton of stopping it. You know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. Do you know why you know what I'm saying? Because this is the psychopath who just said all of this. This woman who illegally broadcasted the trial, knowing that it could ruin the outcome of the trial, that it could affect the justice for the people involved, the 2 boys that were murdered. And she literally said this in response to people politely criticizing her. She attacked them, lied about them, and threatened them, talked about wanting to send them cease and desists. You can't cease and desist somebody who's not doing anything wrong to you. But listen to what she said at the end. Look at the body language. Look at the anger. And then ask yourself if this woman or JLR should ever not only be looking for people or helping with cases, should they even be talking about them? Listen to this.
You're wasting your life on me. Great job. Have a great day. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound to cure. Go make their life hell! What the hell?
This is a choker. This woman's a choker. When you make her mad, she has outbursts of anger. She wants her audience to go make the criticizer's life hell. And she yelled it. It exploded from her. She didn't mean to say, go make their lives hell. She didn't mean to. You know she didn't mean to do it. She was trying to say, go to hell or to him or something. But the truth came out because she is a background creeper, a background doxer. I've proven it on this channel. And she creeps. When she doxes, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do my show. Why am I going to do my show, Betty? Will you say it for me? Why am I going to do my show, Betty? Why?
See something, say something.
Because if you see something, you should say something.
An ounce of prevention is worth a pound to cure.
An ounce of preventing tragedy pimping is worth a pound of the cure.
Go make their life hell! What the hell? They make mine. Go out and do unto others as they do unto us.
It is crazy that she says
do unto others what they do unto us. She said it twice in a row. Go make their lives hell. And then she tried to stop herself. She was going to say, go do to them what they've done to me and make their life hell. But she stopped it. And you know what I'm saying? I showed this before. Navy, the incredible journey of calling out this woman has not ended. We've got more important stories to look at too because we have a new fraud raiser on our hands and we're going to be reporting it. And her name, as I told you earlier, is MADDIE Russо. $37,000 GoFundMe for faking cancer. Have you seen that story yet, Navy?
I've seen a little bit of it, yeah. Oh yeah, it's fucking crazy.
And also there's some interesting things happening with one of our old friends, Charlotte on the web. And I'm going to probably talk about, it's really good. Anyway, I'll be back later tonight on Kick if I can, because I got to go to church and I got to go run my kid again. Now listen to me, y'all. Listen to me. Do you like my show? Make sure you like and subscribe, or just watch it. I don't care. Downvote it, whatever you want to do. Subscribe, though, to UNIROCK2 and Rockalot. We are on Wednesday the 19th, and YouTube pays us on the 21st. So if you do support me, maybe consider PayPal or Cash App today, because it really helps right before we get paid. Though, support is optional, and I just share it. It does keep us going, but it's completely optional. The link will be in the chat. PayPal.me/UNIROCK, money sign UNIROCK on Cash App. Have I said it all? Have I brought it to you? Have I done my thing? Then I'm going to get out of here. Make sure you share this video. Make sure you let people know what's going on. Do not harass anyone I talked about. Do not directly contact anyone I talked about. Do not allow yourself to be like a tragedy. Beep. No. Stop. That was not a mating call. That was a mating call for the stinky squid. That was not a stinky squid mating call. No. Stream, help me. Ah!